Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivana Dari Soda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Soda Nandana Jasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Janavishnapada Paramahamsa Prabhupada also Sri Srimad. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Anantakota Vaishnavani ki jai. Namacharya Srila Vijaya Dasa Thakur ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prem se Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Guru Piyas Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shiva Navadan ki jai. Shri Maya Pranavadan ki jai. Ganga Maya ki jai. Jamuna Maya ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Go Premanandi, all glory some devotees, all glory some devotees, all glory some devotees, all glory, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading the Srimadbhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, continuing with chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, text number 76. Ya imang ashradhaya yukto madgitang bhagavatstvavam adhiyano dararajang harim arad hayat Yasau Ya imang Shradhaya Yukto Madgitang Bhagavatstavam Adhiyano Dararajang Haring Arad Harat Yasau Ya imang Shradhaya Yukto Madgitang Bhagavatstavam Adhiyano Dararajang Harim Arad Hayat Yasau Madgitam Bhagavatstavam Adhiyano Dararajang Harim Arad Yasau Mangitam Bhagavatstavam Adhiyano Dararajam Harimaradhyasau Yakinam Shadayayukto Mangitam Bhagavatstavam Adhiyano Dararajam Harimaradhyasau Yakinam Shadayayukto So, anyone, imam, this, shraddhaya, with great faith, yukta, devoutly attached, madgitam, the song composed by me or sung by me, bhagavatstavam, a prayer offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Adhyana, by regular study. Dararajang, very difficult to worship. Harim, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aradhyati, he can, however, worship him. Asau, such a person. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. Although rendering devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worshiping Him are very difficult, if one vibrates or simply reads this stotra, prayer, composed and sung by me, he will very easily be able to invoke the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. It is especially significant that Lord Shiva is a pure devotee of Lord Vasudeva, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Amongst all Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva is the topmost. Consequently, Lord Shiva has a sampradaya, a Vaishnava disciplic succession, called the Rudra Sampradaya. At the present moment, those who belong to the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya of Vaishnavas come from Rudra, Lord Shiva. To become a devotee of Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, is very, very difficult. The word especially used in this connection is Dharadradhyam. The worship of the demigods is not very difficult, but becoming a devotee of Lord Vasudeva Krishna is not so easy. However, if one adheres to the principles and follows in the footsteps of the higher authorities as advised by Lord Shiva, he can easily become a devotee of Lord Vasudeva. This is also confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj. Devotional service cannot be practiced by a mental speculator. Devotional service is a special attainment which can be acquired only by a person who has surrendered unto a pure devotee, as confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj. Mahi yasham pado rajo visekam niskinchanam na vanita yavad. Unless one accepts the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who is free from all material contamination, one cannot enter into the devotional service of the Lord. Om Jnanatamannandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshrum Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukham Kotavachalang Pangum Hangaite Gurim Yatkripa Tadaham Bande Shigurum Dinataranam Vanchakalpa Tubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Here we're hearing how devotional service is very difficult. Of course, there's different levels of devotional service. Actually, there's devotional service, believe it or not, in the mode of ignorance. There's devotional service in the mode of passion, there's devotional service in the mode of goodness, and there's pure devotional service. So one may ask, well, what is devotional service in the mode of ignorance? What could that be? Well, there's an example not far from here, Laguna Beach. When Prabhupada was here, there was some devotees who were previously, they were drug dealers. So after becoming a devotee, I thought, well, we'll just continue our program and give the money to Prabhupada. So they were selling drugs and making a lot of money and giving it to Prabhupada. Well, they were doing service to Prabhupada, to Krishna, but it was that service in the mode of ignorance. And Prabhupada used the money in Krishna's service. But then Prabhupada heard, one devotee said, Prabhupada, the money they're giving to you, that's from illegal drugs. They're selling illegal drugs. And Prabhupada said, you have to tell them to stop. So he stopped it when he found out about the devotional service in the mode of ignorance. The mode of passion. One may be doing service, but to get some name, some fame, some recognition. So there's different types of devotional service. But the highest is Anyabilasita Sunya, where there's no contamination, trying to enjoy the fruits of the activities or mental speculation, where one just wants to please Krishna. This is difficult. This is difficult. Why? Because we're conditioned souls. We've been here a long time. How long? Maybe millions of births, some of us, a long time. So now we're trying to go the other way. To go the other way. Just like if you're going downstream in a river, it's very easy, right? If you're going downstream, but you try to go against it, it's very difficult. So now we've had this materialistic nature, trying to enjoy the material world. Now we're trying to go against that grain that we've been, that river that we've been so absorbed in for so many lifetimes. So it's not easy. But, as it's said here, by the mercy of Krishna, by the mercy of the spiritual master, we get some help, we get guidance. And Srila Prabhupada, he was such an exemplary devotee, and therefore he has helped so many malechas, yavanas, take to Krishna consciousness. And he's helped us understand who we actually are as servants of Krishna. This is our position. It's like the nature of the soul is to serve, but the highest nature of the soul is to serve Krishna. Yeah. Just like there's so many organs in our body. There's the kidney, purifies the blood, and the liver is another kind of filter, and then you got the heart pumping the blood, through the veins. Believe it or not, our veins, you could look it up, are so long that they can go around the planet twice. It's very fine veins, very small, so long, and the heart is pumping all this blood through the body. So and our fingers, they have a certain function. So there's so many parts of this body, there's so many different functions. So the function of the soul is to serve Krishna. This is the pleasure of the soul. But to serve Krishna, not easy. Rupa Goswami says, "Na prema shravanadi bhakti, na prema shravanadi bhakti." Little Strivitam, please. Yeah, you chant. By my association. Na prema shravanadi bhakti apivayo gostava vaishnavo jnana vastava karma vakyara tongue twister. So anyway, this verse is a very nice verse by Rupa Goswami. He says, "I have no love for you, Krishna." We pretty much sit in that category. So I guess I should speak for myself. But not many people have love for Krishna in this world. And it's actually, this is what everybody wants, is love. But people don't know what love is. Lord Chaitanya, he gives the definition of love. Ashlishava paratam pinastam madarsnam marmatam kurotava yatatata vavaditato lampato mat prana nastav sameva napara. He says that I don't know him, but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain. So even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he's completely free to do anything and everything. This is real love. In the so-called loving relationships here, in the material world, as soon as there's some disagreement, then there's divorce. I think the shortest marriage was less than 24 hours. I think 22 hours. Got married, 22 hours later got divorced. So they had an argument. So this is the material world. Any little reversal, people get divorced. But real love can only be between us and Krishna, because Krishna, we can give our full love to him, and no matter when we actually develop love for Krishna, no matter what he does, it's okay. There's no problem, because Krishna's God, and he knows best. He knows what is best for us. So he says, I have no love for you, na prema shravanadi. I don't have a desire to hear about you. I'm not even qualified to hear about you. On the internet, Google search, anybody know what the most popular search is? Pornography, exactly. Complete absorption. They want to be the enjoyers. They want to imitate Krishna, so they want to enjoy in this way. So they don't want to read; they just want to see. Just want to see the opposite sex. So it's a big challenge to get people to take a book and read the book. Even devotees have a hard time reading Prabhupada's books. I remember that in Europe, I was visiting one country, and there was one book distributor there, and he asked me if there was anything that he might be able to do to inspire him in book distribution. I said, well, what inspires me a lot is reading the Bhagavad Gita. He said, well, I don't like the Bhagavad Gita. I said, wait a second. It's like you're saying you don't like Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita is not different than Krishna. I was shocked. I said, well, you should pray to Krishna that you get a taste to read Bhagavad Gita. And if you get a taste to read Bhagavad Gita, then you make it a nice taste to distribute Prabhupada's books. So he still distributes books. He's been distributing books for 15 years. It's like it's amazing. Anyway, that's the most extraordinary example of a Sankirtan devotee I've ever seen. So I can't figure that. What?
Maybe that's his secret. He doesn't like the books, so he's trying to get rid of them.
So, yeah, this is where we get our inspiration from hearing. When Prabhupada was in Mexico, he told the devotees that they should have 5 classes a day, like in universities. You have srimadbhagavatam class, and you have breakfast, and later you have Bhagavad Gita class, 15-minute break, then you have Nectar Devotion class, 15-minute break, then you have Chaitanya Charita, like a university. So, yeah, Prabhupada, he wanted.
Where was that?
Mexico City.
All the brahmacharis?
All the devotees in the temple. It was a big temple at that time. Yeah, so. And he was disappointed, because quite a few times he would ask the Sankirtan devotees that you're distributing the books, but are you reading the books? And it wasn't uncommon for them to say, well, Prabhupada, we don't have time, we're traveling, we're distributing, we're cooking, we're cleaning, we're doing so many things. And Prabhupada, one time he said, then what is the use? Because he knew if you're not regularly connected, if you're not regularly reading, then you're not going to get strength. And these books are so powerful, so much realization from the Bhaktivedanta purports. Beautiful, wonderful. So we should pray for this taste. Now this is a lockdown, so this gives us more time to read. We should take advantage of that. It's another nice opportunity to hear. So prema, and then prema shavanadi, atir bhakti. Na prema shavanadi bhakti apiva yogostava vaishnavo. And then jnana karma. I have no knowledge. I have no knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you're lost. So by hearing regularly, we get this knowledge by which we can cross over this vast ocean of material existence. And then he goes on to say, I'm not born in a good family. We all fit in that category, except for Ram, Boo. Devotee family, right? So, but still there's hope. Yeah. Oh no, I haven't gone there yet. We may have not been born in a good family, but by the mercy of Krishna, somehow we're devotees. We're practicing Krishna consciousness. So many people were born in devotee families, but didn't become devotees. There was one instance where one person, he was born in a devotee family, went to the Gurukul, went through the whole thing. But then, when he got to be in his early 20s, he just thought, I don't want to be a devotee. So he tried to forget Krishna. He would go to a bar, and he'd be drinking at a bar, and he'd look down, and he'd see Krishna carved on the table. And he's, I can't believe it. Then he'd go home, he'd watch a movie, and devotees would be in the movie. Then I can't believe it. Then he'd put on the news, and then the devotees would be in the news, and he can't get away from them, So he told me, actually, he said, boy, you guys did a really good job. He said, I can't forget Krishna. And so he just came back, to being a devotee again. So, but it's amazing how many people come to Krishna consciousness that had no interest in spiritual life previously. There's one instance of a person, he was harassing the devotees. Harassing the devotees a lot. He would use vulgar language and even become violent sometimes. And so he went up to one devotee, and this devotee said, you're just a punk. And this just shocked this guy. And the devotee had said he was kind of a big guy, so he couldn't do anything about it. And he was like shocked that someone could speak to him. No one spoke to him like that before. So the devotee just said, yeah, you're just a punk, get out of here. So he left, and then he started, well, these guys are, not as bad as I thought. They stuck up for themselves, So somehow he got a book from somebody, and he read the book, and he liked the book. And somehow he started associating with the devotees. You all know who he is. Prabhupada Das? Is that his name? He got initiated. Bhakti Nick. I heard about that. I was like, wow, that's amazing. I don't know if I told this another similar incident. Similar. This person this was in Los Angeles. He used to sometimes break the windows of the temple. And you also harass the devotees, with vulgar language, and just to really harass the devotees. So he went by one morning, and he broke a window, and one devotee was inside a temple room, and he said, all right, this is enough of this tolerance. So he went out and he started running after this guy. Again, this is a big devotee, so he's running after him. He caught him, and he just starts beating him up, He beat him up pretty good, And then this person thought, wow, I thought these guys were sissies, pacifists. But these guys are pretty tough, So he was impressed. And then again, the same thing. Somehow he got a book, and he read it and said, wow, these guys got a good philosophy too. Then he got some more books, and then he went to a Sunday feast. And the devotee said, no, you can't come in. And he said, no, I've had a change of heart. So I've been reading your books. You got a good philosophy. And I was impressed about that guy that beat me up. I thought you guys were like sissies, but you're kind of tough people. I was impressed, So after talking to them for a while, they said, all right, but we're going to watch you, So he came into the Sunday feast, and he participated the whole evening. And then he came to more Sunday feasts, and he started coming to the morning program. And he got beads, and he's chanting Hare Krishna. And the devotees are just amazed, Lord Chaitanya. What is Lord Chaitanya? Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. He's the most merciful incarnation of Krishna. So eventually he said, I like this. What do you think? Can I join? And by then, this has been a couple months. Well, yeah, all right. He had some relationships with the devotees there. So he noticed that some devotees were really blissful. They'd come back and they're really, really happy, blissful. He said, well, what kind of service do you guys do? We're book distributors. I said, oh, you seem like very happy devotees. Yeah, well, that's what happens. You distribute books, you become very happy. So, well, do you think I can distribute books? No, talk to the president, you can work it out. So he said, yeah, maybe a couple of weeks we could do it. So a couple of weeks later, he went on a book distribution, and he was actually pretty good right from the beginning. He was good. And he kept doing it, and he was also experiencing the happiness of book distribution. Eventually he became the #1 book distributor in Los Angeles. And sometimes he would be the #1 book distributor in the world. Ruchi. You remember Ruchi? Yeah, Ruchi. So amazing, huh? Here this person was so degraded, so fallen, harassing the devotees, breaking the windows, he became a huge book distributor. So this is the result of hearing. So important. Shrimbatam svakata Krishna, punya shravana kirtana. If we just hear nicely, then Krishna is so pleased that he cleanses the dirt from the heart. And this is the problem: is this dirt in the heart. This is what keeps us in lockdown in the material world. That's what keeps us here. Yeah. But Krishna, he is so pure that he can purify. He can purify anyone. Yeah. Sometimes we may think that how is it possible that I'm ever going to become so pure that I'll go back to the spiritual world? But it's possible. Impossible is a word in the fool's dictionary. So anything is possible by the mercy of Krishna. And therefore it's stated that Katanchana smate yasmin duskaram sukaram vishmite ritaritam shat Sri Chaitanya namamitam. That if one remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then very difficult things become very easy. But if we forget Lord Chaitanya, then very easy things become very difficult. Yeah. I remember I was on book distribution one time at a university, and generally I just set up because we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. I just set up my table, distribute books, no problem. But this one time I set up my table and a security person came by and said, did you get permission to do this? And I said, well, no. He said, no, you can do it, but you just got to go to the dean and get some permission. I said, all right. But generally, to do it that way, to get permission, you got to, they'll let me do it, but you got to go through the whole rigmarole. Bureaucracy. You got to get a president, you got to get a secretary, you got to get students involved. You got to get a club, and sometimes it's like that. You can do it, but you just got to go through the loops, right? So I was thinking, oh God, Krishna, please help me. So I was chanting this verse, Katanchana, like japa, when I was going to see the dean, like japa, Katanchana smate yasman duskaram sukaram vismiteri taram Sri Chaitanya Mamita. Lord Chaitanya, please help me in this situation. So I went to the office of the dean, and the secretary said, she's a little busy now, she'll be with you in a second. So I was waiting, and the dean came out and said, yes, can I help you? I said, yeah, I just want to distribute some Bhagavad Gitas here on campus and just collecting donations. And she said, yeah, sure, go right ahead, no problem. And then she left, and the secretary looked at me and said, you see, that wasn't that difficult, was it? I was like, the way she said it was kind of like Lord Chaitanya speaking through her, you see. So if we remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then very difficult things become very easy. And this is why, actually Prabhupada said there's a mantra more powerful than the Hare Krishna mantra. Anybody know what it is? That's right. Panchatattva mantra. And therefore we chant Panchatattva before we chant Hare Krishna. And a devotee asked Prabhupada, if the Panchatattva mantra is more powerful than the Hare Krishna mantra, then why don't we chant the Panchatattva mantra on our beads instead of the Hare Krishna mantra? And Prabhupada said, because Lord Chaitanya told us to chant Hare Krishna. So, of course, they're both very powerful. But this is the... Who? Vishnu Jana used to chant. Oh, the Nranchar Prabhu also, he chants one round on his Panchatattva on the beads. So, the name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. So by chanting the name, Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasavik, Purno Sudo Nityamukta Abhinavam Namanamino. So the name, Nama Chintamani Krishna, it's like a transcendental, wish-fulfilling mantra that, of course, we should only desire to serve Krishna. But Krishna will give us what we want. But Krishna is so kind, He won't give us something that will be an obstacle to our advancing in Krishna consciousness. You know, we have there's also spiritual desires. You know, so we should have this desire, this spiritual desire to do so many things that we're doing, but in a way that's pleasing to Krishna. Yeah, in a way that is pleasing to Krishna. So Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa, the name of Krishna is, it's Chaitanya Rasa Vigor, it's a form of transcendental bliss. It's a form of transcendental bliss. We can experience bliss, happiness, by hearing the holy name of Krishna. But sometimes devotees, they say, well, I'm not feeling any happiness from chanting Hare Krishna. But why is that devotees don't feel this happiness? Because one of the 10 offenses. These 10 offenses. This is why we don't love Krishna, actually. Why we don't chant the holy name in love. Because we're committing these offenses. And there's 2 offenses that stick out the most. Maintaining material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. This is one of the main ones. And the other one? Anybody know the other one? That's another one. That's probably the third one. That's another. Inattentive. Anybody have the experience? A little bit every once in a while. Just to chant one round attentively is like so difficult. The mind is just like it's just like all over the place. So these are the 2 main ones that we have to pray to Krishna, pray to Lord Chaitanya to overcome. And when we're completely free of these 10 offenses, then we'll experience the happiness of Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So this is something that before we chant japa, we can pray for this. And please free me from these offenses so they can hear nicely. So, and that verse goes on to say, Rupa Goswami says, but my dear Lord, Krishna, it's been said that you are very merciful to those who are most fallen. So this mercy of yours is giving me hope. It's giving me great hope, and this hope is burning in my heart that I will one day be able to attain this this love for you. So is there any question?